Hi, welcome to part 3 of mind-blowing techniques for multiplication. As promised in the last video, link for that video is in the top right corner. In this video, I am going to talk about additions and multiplications that don't use carryovers and super fast techniques for two-digit multiplication. I call these techniques train technique and UX technique respectively. Let's start. First, you should have the multiplication table for 2 to 9 on your fingertips. Second, you should be able to add two-digit numbers mentally fast. If you want to learn helpful techniques for doing this, please let me know via comment section and I will make a separate video on that. Here, instead of directly writing the answer under the numbers, we first write sum of each place value. We can add numbers in different place values in any order. But it is better if we go either from left to right or right to left. Once you get the sum of each place value, you start from right. Keep the digit at its ones place and add the rest to the sum of the next place value and repeat the process until all place values are done. Imagine each box to be a small compartment of a train. It gets overcrowded when more than one digit are there. Digit at one's place pushes the other digits to the compartment on its left. We can also see it like a sinking box. Write place value sums in order of place value. One's place is at the top, then tens place value below it, and so on. If it has more than one digit, it becomes too heavy, and everything except the rightmost digit sinks and gets added to the box below. And there the same process repeats. When it reaches to the bottom, it just gets added. You can call it a sinking box technique. These names are just to make it easier to remember the process. Now, if you are saying that, well, it is also using carryover technique, but just not writing it in the usual way, then I want you to add these two numbers mentally using both techniques and see which one works better. I think you will find using this technique more natural, easy, and faster than usual method. I will show you how. Add 968 to 357. When you hear 968, make a mental image of 9, 6, and 8 and track them in that order. Then, as soon as you hear 300, you can do 9 plus 3, which is 12. Now you are tracking 12, 6, and 8. You forget 9. Then, when you hear 50, you can do 6 plus 5, which is 11. Now you are tracking 12, 11, and 8. And when you hear 7, you can do 8 plus 7, which is 15. Now you have 12, 11, and 15. With 12, 11, and 15, you can use train technique or sinking box technique and mentally say 5, 11 plus 1 12, so 2, and 12 plus 1 13, so 5, 2, and 13. Then speak the number in reverse order, 13 to 5. Using carryover technique of paper pencil mentally, you will not start until you hear the last digit. Then you will have to track 6 digits. In this approach, numbers get consolidated part by part. Once you have 12, 11, and 15, you can also add place value by place value from higher place value to lower place value. So 1200 plus 11 tens means 13 hundreds plus 1 tens plus 15 means 13 hundreds, 2 tens, and 5 ones, which is 1325. Important benefit of these techniques is that you can start adding as soon as you hear parts of the second number. If you practice, you will have the answer ready by the time second number is finished, which is not possible in carryover technique. With some practice, focus, and concentration, it will become your second nature. I think because carryover technique does not work well to mental calculations, people have bad experience in day-to-day situations where paper and pencil are not handy, like at shops, verbal question and answers, quizzes, etc. Carryover technique may be one of the key reasons why so many kids and adults hate maths. In my view, we should use techniques that work well mentally and then migrate them to paper and pencil instead of doing the other way around. Fundamentally, any technique that consolidates partial results and removes unnecessary tracking is more desirable than a one which does not do so. Let's take one more example. Suppose you are hearing three numbers and not seeing them. Add 956, 837 and 684. After hearing 956, you can make a mental picture of 9, 5 and 6 in that order. Then as soon as you hear 8, you can do 9 plus 8 which is 17. Now you have 17, 5 and 6. Then you hear 30, you can do 5 plus 3 which is 8. Now you have 17, 8 and 6. Then you hear 7, you can do 6 plus 7 which is 13. Now you have 17, 8 and 13. So you have already consolidated two numbers spoken so far into 17, 8 and 13. So you can forget about the previous two numbers. Now comes a 684. When you hear 6, you can do 17 plus 6 which is 23. With 80, you can do 8 plus 8 which is 16. With 4, you can do 13 plus 4 which is 17. So now you have 23, 16 and 17 by the time question is over. You can again use train technique with 23, 16 and 17 and say 7, 16 plus 1, 17. So 7, 23 plus 1, 24. So 7, 7, 24. Now you can speak the answer in the reverse order. 24, 7, 7. So that is the answer. Generally, we write multiplication in these two forms. UX technique gets its name from the fact that it tells you to focus on sum of cross multiplication first. U comes from here and X comes from here. Let's call sum of cross multiplication SOC for simplicity. Here we first calculate SOC. SOC gives us some sense of how values may propagate. Then we calculate multiplication of ending digits or digits at ones place. Finally, we calculate multiplication of starting digits. Once you have practiced it enough, you can do from left to right or right to left and then follow train technique to get the final answer. This helps us in identifying situations where multiplication of numbers can be done really fast. Let me explain general technique first. Though this technique itself is faster than usual technique, but I will show you many special cases where these calculations can be done in just a couple of seconds. 7 times 7 and add it to 5 times 8 which is 89 and put it here in the center. Then we do 8 times 7 which is 56 and put it at rightmost place here. Then we do 7 times 5 which is 35 and put it in the leftmost place here. Now we can follow train technique like before to get the answer. With little practice, you will find this technique to be much faster than usual technique. Now question is, how can we make it even faster, much faster? Fundamentally, the only way to make any calculation faster is to find a way to avoid doing hard calculations and get the answer by simple adjustments or simple calculations. So we focus on finding such situations. First situation is, if we can determine quickly without calculating that SOC will end with 0, then calculation can be done much faster because adding this number will remain itself, which means that we can split the number in two parts, a starting part and ending part. A starting part will come from these two and ending part which will come from here. So let's find out situations in which we can quickly determine if SOC will end with 0 or not. Here I have listed 11 different situations in which you can tell that SOC will end with 0 without doing the actual calculation. Each of these situations have techniques that we can use to find the answer in seconds. You can pause the video here and go through the list slowly to get a feel. In the next video, I will show techniques for these special cases and some more special cases. I hope you learned something today which will give you speed, accuracy, and confidence in mental calculations of day to day life. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already, and please hit the like button and bell icon. Enjoy.